Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Jeremy Childs, and this presentation is going to be on overgrazing in Australia. So, overgrazing in Australia is a massive issue to me as I've grown up around a lot of farms as I was a kid, especially during the drought, and I've seen the effect that can actually have on farmers and their families. Okay, so what is overgrazing? Well, overgrazing is the overeating of, but not restricted to, pastoral lands by wildlife and livestock. Pastoral lands is just government land, or they call it crown land, that is given to farmers purely for grazing. Other forms can include intensive grazing, which is where livestock or wildlife has continued to graze on a land that hasn't fully recovered yet. And another little fact there is that overgrazing will be mainly carried out by cattle through Australia. My methodology was to use Curtin Library and Google Scholar mainly. They helped out a lot. Government web pages and articles, accredited journals, and statistics and recordings of Australia's pastoral lands. All of these backed up what I was researching a lot, and they also helped me get information on it. All of those were useful, mainly Curtin and Google Scholar, mainly because they gave me accredited resources, and also all of the information that I got that I knew was reliable. Government websites, very much the same thing as they are peer-reviewed. Journals of other countries came up as well. There was one in Africa. That's in the references if you want to check it out later for some more information. It basically goes over the same problem that they had over there and how they went through it. And of course, statistics based on farming land. A problem that I ran into was that a lot of the resources that I found were not accredited. I obviously did use Google for some of my research, but couldn't actually use it in the presentation as it just wasn't accredited, so it wasn't a reliable source of information. Key findings. So the thing through one of my questions was the environment and also the economy together. So the issue arose mainly through a lack of understanding and knowledge of overgrazing, purely because farmers back in the early 80s to the early 90s didn't quite understand what overgrazing was and hadn't seen the full effects of it yet, as it hadn't happened. The effect on farmers was quite massive. It was a big stress for them as they had to worry about the drought, so they weren't getting enough water, and then also the land wasn't growing back either. This affected the economy quite heavily, as about 75% of Australia's exports comes from farms, whether that's from grazing or not. The animals, if they can't graze, they're not getting fed, so we lose resources through that. The government implemented strategies to try to fix this. One of them was circle grazing. This came through to help out grazing. Basically what it is there is a circuit of grazing farms, and they circle through those and gives the land an amount of time to recover before it needs to be grazed on again. This relates quite heavily to the Year 1 and Year 2 curriculum within living things and their basic needs, as well as sciences involves exploring and observing the world using the senses. With the living things, it relates to how the livestock actually need to feed and gives them an understanding of how farmers work, since most children will grow up learning farming animals. Helping to understand the observing of things such as overgrazed lands and hungry livestock by using their senses. The growth and survival of living things are affected by physical conditions of their environment. This is a Year 5 and 6. The other one is sudden geological changes or extreme weather conditions can affect Earth's surfaces. These both relate heavily to overgrazing. Here are my references if you want to take a look through those. There's a lot of overgrazing stuff there and some sustainability as well as the world of history. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it.